Okay, this is it. We made it through the final main entry of the marathon. I'm sure some of you are curious of what I mean since this is day 29 of 30, which I'll explain a bit later. But while I will always stand by the fact that every single channel in this marathon has inspired me into what I need to consider when being an online content creator, this is the one that started it all. It wasn't the first YouTuber I ever watched, but it was the first English-speaking YouTuber that had something that made me want to look forward. And it just so happens that not only this year marks 10 years of the Johnny vs series, today is also my birthday. And while not from the very beginning, I've shared those 10 years of journey and seen the channel grow. I recall being invested into the release and news about Sonic Generations. Nothing too severe, just checking on videos regarding new gameplay and news articles that I cannot find anymore. But while I was trying my hardest to get a 360 at that time, I stumbled across his Sonic Generations review. And it should be said that around that time, it was the middle ground attitude of his videos what truly grabbed me. Yeah, sure, there are jokes here and there, but it wasn't an angry reviewer, more like a bitter Sonic fan. I think we can all relate to that a little bit. So I subscribed and then we got nothing for the next few months until he released his Sonic Anniversary interviews. I love his animated works. I understand that YouTube is not the best environment to work on both reviews and animated projects at the same time, but I still think his style has a very clean line art that allows for the colors to be the main priority, with my favorite short being his Tales Adventure short. I'm just all about that dark sense of humor, okay?
Oh wait, stop it, okay? You wait, please stop, oh please, I have a wife and 2 kids. I won't ever do this again, I swear, oh God, I swear. Somebody help me, don't stop, no, please, no, for God's sake. No.
But after that, he will just stay silent until the Sonic 4 Episode 2 review. However, that gave me enough time to also start binge watching his earlier videos under the SGB review lineup, in which, yeah, they're a little quirky if you compare them with his Johnny vs series, but they still have a lot of heart as well as plenty of live action skits throughout, with the best ones being those that are centered on the Tails doll. Now, I didn't know that this thing was actually scary for a lot of folks. I thought it was a running gag that Sonic Paradox started, but nope, apparently it is scary and Johnny loves to play with that shit throughout his entire series. From being a devil that possesses Sonic hats to a troll that gives him Mecha the Dolphin. But it was throughout this time that I also gave myself the chance to try out some of the games that he will show, like Mario 2 Lost Levels and the Castlevania series, with that one being one of the many series that I will fall in love through his reviews. And it was around that time where I also discovered other channels like The Completionist and Artist Gamer Girl, channels that I have talked about in this marathon. Please subscribe. Oh, the Tatsunoko vs Capcom review. I used to play that game a lot since it was one of the few fighting games worth a damn on the freaking Wii, so it kind of helped me feel like I wasn't the only weirdo playing that game at the time. Even though I still didn't have someone to play with. Anyway, after his Dragon Ball Budokai review, he made the decision to quit his job in order to become a full-time content creator. And keep in mind, we're talking about 2012. That was still a time in which the internet, while not a place for weird shit anymore, it was still hard to process the idea of someone making a living out of making videos on the internet. Like I said, it wasn't an odd thing to hear anymore, but it was still way more judgmental than it is today. And if you think it's very judgmental today, it was worse. I know that for a fact. And that, in all honesty, was the hitting spark. Before I knew it, since it was around that time when I was finishing high school, I decided that I wanted to go to college in order to learn about science and techniques of communication, and during that time I got myself a job at a local newspaper, and I ended up also working on local television as an editor and news producer. Well, I also worked at Applebee's, but let's not talk about that. And it was because of the joy that his content will bring to me that I wanted to learn and get the tools in order to do the same. I'm not saying that I went to college to become a YouTuber per se. Again, it was still something that wasn't seen like a legit option as much as it is today. But because I wanted to be able to make content that could bring that same joy that he brings me. However, throughout that time, I was watching everything that he will share on social media, from his main channel to even getting to see his Let's Play channel SGB Likes to Play, alongside the collaborative channel Brain Scratch Commentaries. SGB is his more personal Let's Play channel in which he, alongside his brother Elliot Cancel and later his best friend Matt, will join in order to play games of all types and just have conversations that will just happen as they go along with the game and even improvise a thing or two.
No, the steel crate's blocking him.
No, what the fuck?
Oh, wonky dick! You fell for it again!
Now you know that wasn't fucking me.
No, it wasn't you. That was totally bullshit on their end. Wonky Dick! You're screwing the physics again!
That was me.
I love the energy they bring as a group. Elliot being the guy that really tries his best on platformers but is really good at playing other games. And Matt will bring a lot of insightful thought but has me blocked on Twitter for reasons that I don't remember. Yet I'm not complaining because I probably deserved it. As I have mentioned in the past, I'm not the biggest fan of Let's Plays, but when the conversations are funny, they're really funny. If you want the most entertaining ones that I can recommend, I'd say both of the LA Noire Let's Plays, the Insane Trilogy, the Punisher, or as Johnny will say, the Puny Share, and the Super Mario World one. Those are videos that I still go back from time to time.
Yay! Oh, hold on. So the twist ending is that Phelps is the fallen idol.
And it was throughout those Let's Plays that I also got familiar with Greg, Uncle Silver, which I gave his own dedicated part on this marathon. If you want to know my thoughts on that, please subscribe. But as I mentioned, he became my favorite streamer on Twitch. And then there's Brain Scratch commentaries, which I started watching around the time they started with the Shadow the Hedgehog commentary. And for those who may need the explanation, unlike the common Let's Play channel, a commentary revolves on live conversation on already edited and recorded separate parts, unless you're Ryan back at the early days. And they will have conversations during that established time with a little extra at the end in order to not interrupt the conversations. The channel will consist of Lewis, Ryan, Johnny, and Ted. Lewis will sometimes be the most methodical of the team since he will be the one to really set the debate from a different point of view, while still keeping his own beliefs and falling into that factual opinion way of talking that I have made clear plenty of times during this marathon. Like, he sounds more like someone trying to say his work like it was just a matter of fact that he's right. Then there's Ted, who I feel bad for the guy at times. He's sometimes treated as the oddball of the group due to his own preferences and taste. You say Final Fantasy, he says Dragon Quest. You say Mario 64, he says Banjo-Kazooie. You say Sonic Mania, he says anything else. And because of that, he will be the one having to really stand on his thoughts over the rest of them. And we also have Ryan, who is sometimes way too negative for its own good if you ask me. He has his thoughts and way to be about it. That's just fine, I'm not gonna tell him how to live his life. But there will be times where it's just hard to dig a conversation and suddenly you will hear him saying, ugh, or just saying that something is shit, or nobody cares about certain things, and end up with me feeling like, Jesus dude, I'm sorry, I like something that you don't, please don't hurt me. And while I discovered the channel due to Johnny, I still watch a lot of things from them. Lewis and Ted have their own streaming channels that I strongly recommend, and Ted also has some YouTube stuff going on, but it's been a while since he made a YouTube Let's Play per se. But I do recommend you to watch it, the guy just knows how to keep a show going. And even Ryan had a few things going on with his channel, and he's currently streaming, that are definitely worth the attention. Check it out and give it the support, as well as checking out Brain Scratch as a whole. If you're into Let's Plays and conversations, I'd say check this channel out. It has over 10 years worth of content and a variety of games to choose from, so you can enjoy yourself with that while working on something yourself. And if I didn't mention John's role on this part, it's because he feels like the guy that's just happy to be here and tags with whatever's going on in the conversation. And it was through this channel that I also got familiar with FTCR, The Great Clement, which I made a video on him too through this marathon, please subscribe. Recently Cadecorus, Messianella, Hellfire Comes, just to name a few.
I didn't even...
Oh, you shot the girl first, sexist piece of
I didn't even
shit.
notice that she was there because I was focused on Cortex while I was playing.
I shot the woman first because women are stronger than men. I'm being...
Cortex, you're just digging that hole deeper.
No! I like women. I've got a woman friend.
Yeah,
And she's black.
So, he has his time on a commentary channel, his own Let's Play channel, his own streaming channel as well on Twitch, and a review series. Alongside TFS and The Completionist, I'd say that SomeCallMeJohnny is one of the most workaholic YouTubers I have ever seen. And while I don't encourage people to fall into that and take care of themselves, for me, the idea of putting that much heart in order to live, doing what you love and entertaining people in the process was all the motivation that I needed at the time in order to know what I wanted to do with my life. But going back to the main channel, One of the things he did around that time was the Sonic Marathon, which was his change from the concept of doing monthly specials on certain game franchises like Sonic, Metroid, Castlevania, Mario, and Pokemon, and he did something that was kind of new at the time for game reviewers. He stopped doing ratings. I know there are those that have their own creative ratings in order to not work through numbers, but he simply allowed his thoughts to be just that, his thoughts, instead of being a judge on whether or not you should enjoy something or not. And he's never been about being above all else, he's just somebody that works on entertaining people and sharing his thoughts. And as the years went on, I will just continue to watch the new reviews as they come along, sometimes check on a stream or some of the Let's Plays that will catch my interest as well. And with that, I also started enjoying some other games thanks to the word being spread. I saw his review on Dust and Elysian Tale, and I liked the world so much that I ended up buying the game for myself and falling in love with it. I got nostalgia hits in my back since I also was the kid with the PlayStation, but unlike Crash, I grew up with Spyro more, though I did get to play both of them, and I even got the chance to know what Final Fantasy VII was thanks to his Let's Play. I still have no interest on playing it, don't get me wrong, but I was enjoying my time with those streams. You can still find them on YouTube if you want. I miss him archiving the streams since there are plenty of moments where time just isn't on my side, but I understand why he ended up not doing it anymore. And with that, it came one of the best marathons he's done, the Donators Marathon. On one hand, it helped to give the Tails doll a bit more focus as a whiny troll, but they also help keeping things fresh from time to time, and it's so fun to watch the origin of the Cory in the House anime. Although I also get a huge kick out of his indie marathons because they also help finding gems that people don't talk about that much. And it will be around that time where he will start doing little twists here and there to keep things interesting. More specifically, him having a main theme song, which I freaking adore, composed by the sexy beast himself, as he likes to quote it, T-Lopes. And with that, he will start his section called Spotlight, which, as the name says, will be one-off showings of some indie games, fan creations, or even sponsorship deals. He also does a lot of charity work during the years alongside the other channels I mentioned, in order to make stream marathons that are made to spread awareness on different causes that are important to support if the money and awareness is required. And he's been updating his theme song and thumbnails every year to the point where people started considering them separate seasons. Gotta be honest, not the biggest fan of having specific thumbnails depending on the mood of the game. I mean, of course he's not gonna like Pac-Man 2.
Just want to get a move on. Stop with the fucking vending machine. It's always gonna eat your money. It's broken, Pac-Man. That's what broken vending machines do.
But I don't want to be told that about before watching. That kind of takes away some surprises depending on the game, regardless of the common thought of them. But yeah, I think that's all I can really say about Mario experiences with the channel. And it's been 10 years of joy and inspiration when I needed it the most. To the point where when COVID hit me like a truck and caused the loss of my career or my city, I decided to stand up and finally set on what I should have started years ago, my own YouTube channel. I already had a Hispanic one, but that one has always been all over the place. I wanted to use my skills and experiences to make something more serious, and with that, I made shows like The Grey Line, Online Wonders, Free to Pay or Free to Play, A Breath of the Wild, and now this project that worked to me as a showcase of how much I can commit myself to make content with the goal to bring at least some of the joy that all the channels in this marathon gave to me. I'm sure there are people that will complain about this being a special on channels that I like, despite having elements to dislike about them. But as I mentioned in my TFS review, if I wanted to do that, I will do it on a video that is not meant to celebrate my life on this platform. The people that make YouTube as big as it is are the ones that give their all to make people feel happy and bring inspiration to then become the next generation. Hell, as I have stated in the past, there is a value on being a content creator online when those on traditional media who love to mock the online world are now trying to jump on it like they just deserve to be treated equally. And I know you guys have your own channels that bring the same feelings that I have for all of these channels. So if you want me to look them up, please let me know. Just expect those to be more on the Online Wonder section since this list was very personal to me, and I wouldn't like to disappoint you guys with a second year of it only to have mixed results. I have watched Disney's Ember and that thing is not as good as it once was because of those reasons if you ask me. So I'll tell you this, I'll end this marathon with this special bonus for you guys. So come by tomorrow where we'll take a look at one of the biggest showcases of how you never have enough internet in your life, and how there's always something new to discover and feel inspired. So we'll finish it off JuneTube with Cadecorus. But before that, let me go back to John. At the end of the day, if John is watching this, thank you. Thanks for the fun, thanks for the joy, and thanks for the inspiration. I can at least say that things wouldn't be the same if it hadn't been for you and your content showing up at the right moment of my life. And it's been amazing seeing you grow and follow you as much as I could throughout these 10 years. Cheers to another 10, I'm sure it'll be worth it. Thank you so much for listening, have yourselves a fantastic night, and take care.